And welcome here, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pictou County Wellness Center for this U15 matchup between the Bombers and the Bandits. Puck drop for the first period is about to be underway. And here we go. Bandits are going to get possession of that drop, but they'll turn it over to the Bombers. Cormier moving it up. Anderson will tip it in to the Bandit zone. And that goes down around behind the net. Chasing in after it. Up in front for Anderson with a shot on net, goes wide, bounces in front. Lane Miller trying to poke that one in, couldn't get a open slot as Anderson's in the corner now. Battling for it, he's got some pressure being put on him. He'll take it behind the net. Looking for an option, that pass is poked away. It's moved up to Whittemore, takes a shot blocked in front by O'Coin. And that goes back into the neutral zone. Down around O'Coin, trying to battle his way out of that corner there, but Cormier is going to pick it up for the Bombers, and he'll walk in with a shot off the bar. A close chance to start the scoring here for Brett Cormier. With it now is Robertson, and he'll dump it in to the Bombers zone. Mason Gunn in between the pipes tonight for the Bombers. Will play it off for Brett Cormier. As that moves up, Little will tip it in. Down behind the net now, battling for it. Swain's in there to help out Little. Swain to Little. Little with it now. He'll curl around and take a shot. That's blocked on in front, excuse me. It's behind the net now. McIntosh trying to make a play with it. It's up for Swain to Grace. Grace with a shot from the line. Off the pad, rebounds alive. And it's taken out of the danger zone. Bandits with it now, looking to break out. Little's putting on a great deal of pressure onto Chamberlain. And he'll end up dumping it in onto Mason Gunn, who will cover it up. Bombers putting the pressure on early here in this game. They're coming off a loss here. Back in their home rink, looking to turn things around. 13-18 left to go in the first. Bombers win it back in their own zone. Grace trying to play it up off the boards. Moves back behind the net. Little will have to grab it. He'll move it up the boards. Frazier trying to play it up. That's a little too high for Little, and it goes back for Robertson. He'll make a play, try to pass it over to Young, but that goes down further than he would have liked. Grace playing it off the boards to McIntosh. McIntosh having a look now. He'll make a pass back up to Grace. That's turned over, and now the Bandits have it coming towards Mason Gunn. McIntosh back to break up that play. Back up to McIntosh along the boards. He'll make a tip pass over to Little. And here comes Little. Walking through, trying to get past the Bandits defenseman. And Grace will come in to help. Little still with it now. He'll play it over to Reed. Reed back to Little. Little will curl it up to Grace with a shot on it for the blue line. That goes wide. Bowden in there battling for it now, but it comes out, and the Bandits will make a move with it now. Poyet brings it up to McDaniel, or Matitol, excuse me, over to McDaniel. And he'll play it upward. Ty Bowden tips it in off his stick, and that bounces off the pad of Fry. Moved up, turned over. Ryan Ross with it now. He'll go into the corner and dump it behind the net for Ty Bowden, who can't get there in time. Reed keeping it in for the Bombers. Along the board, Stewart trying to get there for the Bandits. And he'll get into battle. Matitol can't hold the line, so that'll go back to the neutral zone for McDaniel. McDaniel to Matitol. Matitol will move down the boards to Reed, who dumps it in. Big hit along the boards, laid by Bowden. Moved up, McDaniel keeping it in at that blue line. It's down behind the net for Miller. Miller's hit off that one, and Chamberlain takes possession. He'll move it up, and the Bandits will get it out of their zone. But it's back in the possession of the Bombers. Cormier to Whittemore. Whittemore moving it up to Anderson, who tips it in. Back around along the boards now. Shot on net from Cormier, goes wide. O'Coin, not sure who's going to take possession of that one. So it's back around, and Anderson holds it in at the line, dumping it back in to the corner of the Bandit zone. Couple nice moves by Bandit player there, moved up. Played over. Miller racing for it. He'll get it and dump it in on the backhand. Battle for it along the boards now. Coin's in there. And the Bandits will clear it down the length of the ice. And that'll be an icing. This Bombers game today is brought to you by Scotia Seamless Gutters in New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. Draw here in the offensive zone for the Bombers. And they'll win it back with the help of McIntosh. He'll move it up to Little. Little in for McIntosh with a shot on net. That goes off the glove of Fry. Grace with another shot. Hits off the pad. Back around, Swain racing for it. And he'll get possession. Moves it up to Little. Over to Grace. Grace will walk in. Shot on it again, goes wide. And back around, Elijah Little loses his footing. And here come the Rangers. Mason Gunn coming out of his net to play the puck. An aggressive play there. And it pays off. Here comes Cohen Little. Pushing through. He's taken down. No call on that play. And the puck is covered up by Fry. Both teams will get some fresh legs out there. Taking the draw is Cameron for the Bandits, excuse me. 9:43 left. That's moved up, and McDaniel can't hold it in at the line, so him and Matitol will go back. Frazier with it now, playing it in. Robertson will race for it. Robertson gets there first. As that's played back, and it squeaks out to the neutral zone. Matitol handing it off for McDaniel, who dumps it in to the Bandit zone. Around the back of the net now, it's Robertson moving it up. Play's broken up by Matitol as he tries to dump it back in, but it hits one of his players in the zone, so we'll get it offside. No score so far. Bombers with a few quick shots onto Fry, who's shutting the door thus far. That's played in now. Ty Bowden goes into the corner with it, and he's hit off of it by Robertson. A big hit. Corner now. Ryan Ross losing his stick, gets in the way. Frazier playing it over into the open ice. That's moved up. Here comes Young racing for it. 27 versus 27, and that'll be an icing. So another draw here in the Bandit zone for the Bombers. Played into the corner now. Anderson having a look. He'll move it up to Whittemore. Whittemore over. Brett Cormier now. He'll dump it into the corner. That's back for Anderson, who hands it off for Jackson McDonald. He'll play it in for Reed. Moved into the slot, and that play's broken up. And played down the length of the ice. The Bandits, will get a quick change in. The Bombers trying to make a play and catch them on that. Here comes Jackson McDonald pushing through with it now. Couldn't get a pass over to Reed. Some good defense there. Jackson McDonald getting a lot of pressure put onto him. They'll lose possession. Nice move there by O'Goyne. He'll walk in with it now, and he's hit off that one. Moved up and dumped in by the Bandits. It's Hayes. Plays it in. McLean trying to get possession. Move back around. Elijah Little's there, and he'll grab it for the Bombers as he plays it off the boards. It'll go down the length of the ice. No icing on this play. Bandits bench not happy about that one. Tipped into the neutral zone. Bombers will play it back into their end. It's Grace with it now. Skating behind his net. He'll move it up. McIntosh trying to dump it in. That play's broken up. And flipped back out to Grace. He'll hand it over to McDaniel. That one goes flying in the air. Almost goes into the bench of the Bandits. Tipped away. McIntosh trying to get there first. Goes for the hip check. Move back into the neutral zone. Cohen Little playing it back for his D-man, Martello. And it's up for Cohen Little again. Cohen Little walking in now. Having a look. He takes a shot on net. And it's covered up by Fry. .649 left to go here. We'll have another face-off in the Bandits' end. One back over to Robertson in the corner. He'll play it around. Played back through, a miscommunication there, and Robertson will pick it up and try and get it to O'Coin. O'Coin couldn't get that, so Ryan Ross picks it up and throws it into the corner. Ty Bowden trying to get there. He'll hand it off for Swain, who's hitting to the boards. That's moved up. Whittemore getting possession, and he'll dump it back in. Robertson after it. Robertson moving it to O'Coin. Battling for it along the boards now. Burke is in there as well to help. It's moved around. Ty Bowden putting some pressure on. Here come the Bandits now. Into the neutral zone. Ryan Ross intercepts that play and throws it back in. Now the Bombers will get a change in. Moved up. Grace picks it up in the neutral zone. And he'll flip it up a little too far ahead of Frazier. Keeping it in the neutral zone is Grace. He'll throw it down. Robertson with it again. He'll hand it over to Burke. So that's moved up. O'Coin now trying to get through. He hands it off. Burke almost making a play around Elijah Little, but Little shuts him down. Now here comes Anderson and McDonald. Anderson trying to play through. Jackson McDonald getting there behind the net, but he's hit. And now the Bandits have possession. Moved up. Here comes Cameron. He's got a lead away. A shot on net, and he scores! And the Bandits take an early lead. A great play, a great pass, and a great move to beat Mason Gunn. Cameron with the Bandits' first of the game. .5:11 left to go. Battling for it is O'Coin. He'll play it in. McIntosh trying to poke it through. He'll hand it back for Reed. McIntosh in there again, putting on the pressure. Reed with it. Still battling for it along the board. Little's in. He gets hit off that one by Hayes. Moved up now. Cameron making a great pass. Back to Cameron. A nice move there. And he hits McDaniel off. And he still has possession. He moves it. It's in front. Rebound's alive. And it's moved out of the way to Reed, who gets hit heavy. Little and McIntosh. Trying to play over to McIntosh. He'll try and take a shot. It's blocked in front. Great defense there for the Bandits. Played through. Cormier to Little. Back to Cormier. Great play. Here comes Cormier to Miller, and it's too far behind him. Couldn't get it on his tape. Whittemore with a shot blocked. And he's in some pain there. It's McLean who blocked that shot. Immediately got off the bench. Seems to hit him in the hand. Got onto the bench, excuse me. Hit him in the hand. As that's back over to Cormier, who can't get there in time. Smith and Robertson will play for it. Back in. Chamberlain gets poked away off that one, and it's up. Ryan Ross racing for it. He's got Miller with him. Back. A shot on net. And he scores! Ty Bowden! A quick response for Bowden. He ties things up. Draw one back by the Bombers. McDaniel throwing it up for Anderson. who tips that one in. Fry playing it off. Swain putting on some pressure now. It's turned over. McDonald moves up to Elijah Little with a shot on net from the blue line. Hits a leg in front. Smith blocking that one. Back around. Bandits looking to play it out. That pass is missed, so Hayes will grab it and take it back into his zone. Trying to get Swain off of him, but Swain keeps the pressure on and give them a run for their money. Moved up. Bandits playing it over to Stewart. Stewart walking in now. Almost hit off that one. He avoids the hit from Anderson, and he'll play that up for Oyette. Moved around. Bandits with it. Trying to play it in front. That pass is blocked. It's on net. Another shot on net blocked in front by Mason Gunn. Stewart now playing it off. Back up to Stewart. Stewart gets hit into the boards by Anderson. And Anderson will get it, and he'll flip it up high down into the Bandits zone, and that'll be an icing against the Bombers. So the draw here in the Bombers zone. We're all tied up at 1 with just 2 minutes and 17 seconds left in the first. Played through, it's Anderson. He'll cross red and flip it. Into the corner now. Frazier putting on some pressure, but he's got that puck taken away from him. McIntosh in the corner with it, gets hit off that one. Harris trying to backhand it up, but Martello gets it. He'll take a shot on net, bounces in front, and Fry covers it up. We're going to get another draw here in the Bandits zone. Little taking the draw for the Bombers as he wins that back. Martello having a look. He'll play it in for McIntosh. McIntosh walks in with a shot on net off the pad of Fry into the corner. Still a battle for it. Reed plays it over. Little can't get a shot off as that's poked away. Moved up. Here comes O'Coin now. A fancy move. Still getting some pressure put on him. He'll hand it off. Burke back to O'Coin. Couldn't get the shot off again. Little stops him. Moves up now for Little. Little over to McIntosh. McIntosh with a nice move. He walks in. Shot in front. Rebounds alive. Flipped in. Fry trying to get back up. No stick. A close opportunity once again. Little behind the net now. Trying to play in front for McIntosh, excuse me. McIntosh in the slot. Shot on net. Blocked in front. Little and Miller in there. Battling for it. It's moved up. Whittemore. A turnover from the Bandits. He'll walk into the corner. Plays it in front. Little can't get a shot off. Robertson making a play up now. Played back in front for O'Coin. And that goes to the side, and we're going to get a penalty here for hooking against the Bombers. Looks like Whittemore will go to the box. So with 36 seconds left, Bandits will head to the power play. The draw is won back by the Bandits, slips through in between the defensemen and goes out into the neutral zone. Good hand-eye coordination by Jackson McDonald there to get possession. As that's moved up, back to Anderson. Back for Little to Cormier. Cormier throws it in. 15 seconds left to go in the first. Fry lets it play. Moved over. McLean now walking through. That's broken up and played back into the neutral zone, and that'll be the end of the first period. Things are tied up at 1. We'll be back in just a moment with the second period. This is U15 Major on High Button Sports. And welcome back here, folks. Just a short break in the second period. It's about to be underway now. Tied up at 1. And it's on the power play for another minute and 20. As that's played in to the Bombers zone, but it goes back for Robertson. Down in the Bandits' end. Robertson having a look. Setting something up. And that pass goes a little wide. And it's back for Jackson McDonald. One of the quickest skaters on the Bombers, trying to play it through. Robertson pokes that out of his possession. Moved around, Burke. Coming into the neutral zone now. Here comes Burke. Playing it back. Stewart walking in, shot on net. Flips up into the boards. Burke with it now behind the net. Gets hit off that one. Cormier's putting some pressure on. Flipped around for Robertson at the blue line, who keeps it in. Down in for Burke again. McDaniel laying the body. As it's back up for Robertson. He has a look and throws it into the corner for Burke again. Burke taking his time with it. He'll try and flip it over. Jackson McDonald gets that one out of the air, and he'll head off for a change. It's back for Robertson. Moving through now, he'll cross red and dump it. Mason Gunn out of his net to make a play. He'll hand it over to Cormier. Cormier now, he's got Little and Anderson. Shot on net, off the pad of Fry. Another opportunity here. Back for Anderson with a shot on net. That goes high and around. Keeping it in at the line is Little. Plays it in, and the Bandits will get possession. McLean playing it off, and it goes in front. Fry covering it up. Draw here in the Bandit zone. Back to even strength. Back into the corner for Little. He'll move it up. Swain trying to play it through for Grace. Connor Grace trying to play it up, but that's intercepted by O'Coin. O'Coin moving in now. He'll try and play it around Little, but he's hit off that one, and it goes into the corner. In front for Smith. He'll take a shot. Mason Gunn deflects it into the corner. Moved up again. Little moving it up to Swain, but Hayes takes possession. Moves it back. Playing it through, it's O'Coin now trying to dangle his way around Elijah Little. McIntosh making a pass up to Swain. Swain hands it over to Little, and Little will dump it in. Bombers will head off for a change to get some fresh legs out there, as the Bandits now have possession and are looking to set something up. Overread and dumped in. I guess not enough. They're going to call it an icing. Bandits once again not happy about that one. So they'll have the draw at center ice. One back by the Bandits. And dumped in. Cormier's back around his net to grab it. He'll move it up. Bowden tipping it off for Ross. Here comes Ross now. Playing it in. He'll backhand it. Bandits with possession now. It's Young. Flipping it over. And it's dumped in. Back around Cameron. Gets hit off that one. But he'll get possession again. Moves it up. Parsons now at the line. Moves it over. Harris keeping it in. Back around for Martello. Weird bounce off the glass there. Martello moving it to Ross. Ross playing it to Bowden, who's already got one in this game for the Bombers. Back around the net now. Ross gets there. Bowden in the corner battling. They'll move it up. Frazier having a look. Fakes the shot. Hands it over to Whittemore. Plays it in front. No one's there. It's back over and kept in by McDaniel at the line. Bandits, get possession as that's moved up. Young tipping it at the line, and he'll head off for a change. Back in the Bombers zone, McDaniel making a stress pass up to Frazier, who can't get there. That's played over to Stewart. Stewart hands it over. Anderson getting it, and he'll dump it into the Bandits' end. Jax McDonald putting on some pressure. Behind the net, battling for it. Trying to make a play in front. Jackson McDonald comes out with it. Moves it up to Whittemore. Shot on net. Gloved up by Fry. A great save there for the Bandits. Draw here in the Bandits zone. It's Anderson taking the draw for the Bombers. Bandits will win that one, and it's moved up. Camus trying to play it through. Flipped up, and we'll get an offside. .15:05 left in play in the second period. Shots 13-4 for the Bombers, as that's one back. Elijah Little making a pass to Anderson. Anderson going in along the boards. He'll try and move it back to Jackson McDonald, who just gets there and dumps it in. It's moved up. O'Coin now starting the breakout. He'll hand it up to Burke. Burke and Camus with a good opportunity. Camus with a tip, and that's kept out by Mason Gunn. A big save, keeping this thing tied up. What an opportunity. A great tip for Camus. But Mason Gunn shuts the door. 14:44 left in play. Pushed through by Burke. He tries to play it in front for O'Coin. That one goes wide. Swain in there battling for it with O'Coin. Whittemore in there helping as well for the Bombers. Against the boards. Trying to get that one out of the hold there. Still in against the boards as it's moved up for Swain to McIntosh. He'll hand it over to Little. A great pass, and that goes in. Here comes Little. Over to McIntosh. A shot on net, and it's just high. Down in the corner now, Little trying to poke it through. Over to Camus, who wants a second opportunity for that one that he missed on the last play there. Cormier getting it. Back for Camus now. Camus circling around, trying to hand it into the slot, but McIntosh intercepts that. Moves up for Swain to Cormier. Cormier moving in now. Whole ton of speed. He takes a shot, and that goes wide. Back around the net there. McIntosh racing to get there. He'll lay the body. Little keeping it in, hands it in for McIntosh. He'll circle around. Taking his time, shot on net, and it's into the chest of Fry, who covers things up and brings this play to a stop. Draw here in the Bandit zone. It's played over to Ty Bowden, who can't get possession, as that's moved up into the neutral zone. Down in, a little too far ahead of Grace. He'll have to go back and race for it. Connor Grace. He'll flip it up. Ty Bowden now loses that one, and Harris will grab it and throw it into the Bombers' end. Trying to get there is McDaniel as he moves it around. McDaniel moving it up again. Ryan Ross is there. Along the boards to Miller, to Bowden. Bowden and Miller with an opportunity to Miller, and he can't get the shot off, but he's in, and he gets possession as he moves it up to McDaniel. Pass is intercepted as the Bandits get it in deep to the Bombers zone. A big hit on Connor Grace there. Moved up Harris, keeping it in at the line. A shot on net, tipped in front, and that goes wide. McDaniel with it now. He tries to play it through. That's up for Miller. To Bowden. Bowden over to Ross, and he can't get there. He gets it off the boards, however, and skates around the back of the net looking for a passing option. Hands it to Elijah Little. Tries to take a shot from the line, which is blocked in front, but it's down for Frazier. Moved around, Harris gets there and hands it over to Robertson. Robertson now moving it up. Cormier couldn't get a handle on that one, so it goes down the length of the ice into the Bombers' end. Elijah Little having a look, plays it off the boards for Cormier. Cormier up, Anderson making a pass to Jackson McDonald. Here he comes with a shot on net, and he scores! Jackson McDonald! And he gives the Bombers the 2-1 lead. With 11:36 left in play, Jackson McDonald snipes top left, making this game 2-1. Bombers dumping it in now. No icing on that play. Anderson trying to play it in front. Hits off the net. Jackson McDonald into the corner now as he plays it around. Back for Anderson, who can't get there in time. Moved up, Cormier putting some pressure on. Jackson McDonald again putting some pressure on as well to Chamberlain. Moved up, over to Smith. Smith walking in now. Brett Cormier keeping him to the outside. Battle for it along the boards now. And Cormier will come out with it. So he flips it around the back of the net for Elijah Little. Little, stretch pass up to Anderson, who can't get there. And that'll be an icing against the Bombers. So the draw will go back down into the Bombers zone. It's pushed through by the Bandits. Back, Cameron trying to get there. Cormier gets there first. That's turned over. It's in front. Another shot on that. Mason Gunn shuts the door. My Lord, what a stop. A great game thus far for Mason Gunn, keeping his team in it with a couple desperation saves. So we'll have another draw in the Bombers zone. One back by the Bandits. Up for Parsons at the line. He'll skate around with it and fire it in, but it's intercepted. McIntosh with it now, trying to play it through. Stewart's back, and he'll grab it. Stewart's got lots of speed. He'll take it into the Bomber zone as he's kept off into the boards. And it's off for Grace. Here comes Grace, playing it through. He'll hand it over. Little trying to get there, but that pass is tipped a little too far ahead of him. Back around the net now. Cameron with it. He'll move it as it reaches out to the neutral zone. Connor Grace hands it over to McDaniel. McDaniel playing it up to McIntosh. Can't get the pass to Little, so it goes back. Connor Grace getting possession once again. Here comes Grace. Shot on net, and he fans on that one. It flips up high. Almost goes into the net. Another shot on net. Kept out by Fry. McDaniel keeping it in on the backhand. Another shot goes high and wide. Back around for Grace. Grace with a shot. Tipped in front, rebounds alive. Another shot, and Cohen Little scores off of the rebound. There he goes, Cohen Little. This game is 3-1. A great backhand off to the rebound, and we're going to get a penalty here against the Bombers for tripping. So the Bandits will head to their second power play of the game. This Bombers penalty kill is brought to you by Scotia Seamless Gutters in New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. Pushed into the corner now, off the draw by the Bandits as they battle for it. It's moved up. Camus keeping it in. It goes back down, and that'll go to the neutral zone. Robertson gets possession. He'll take it back into his end, looking for a passing option and to set something up. Taking his time, he'll start the move now. Moved up, Camus now. Playing around Anderson, walking in around Little. In for a shot on net, and it's kept out by Mason Gunn.
Bomber penalty number 55 at Manitoba. 2 minutes for tripping. Number 59-18, second period.
Draw one back and kept in by Robertson. It's off for Cameron. Cameron having a look now, poked away from him, and Ross gets it, and he'll fire it down the length of the ice. Just 1:12 left to go on this Bandits power play. Robertson with it again, hands it up. Moved over to Burke. Burke cutting through the D, splits in, and he scores! What a goal! Burke making things 3-2 on the power play. A big goal for the Bandits as the Bombers took a quick lead. They'll return with a goal here, and hopefully another one to tie things up for them. Moved up, McDaniel hands it over to Grace. Grace up to Ross. Ross having a look now, he's skating through, in a shot on net. It's down in and covered up by Fry. Bounced a little weird off of the glove, or the blocker, excuse me. But she covers it up.
Men's goal, short of the line, Maddoxburg, assisted by number 11, Patrick Schlender, counted power play goal, 8-18, second period.
8:06 left in play here. Draw in the Bandit zone. Ty Bowden throwing it in behind the net. It's moved up and intercepted by Ross. Miller will grab it off of him and throw it back into the Bandits' end. Moved around. McLean handing it out over to O'Coin, excuse me. Moved up Young, trying to split through, but can't get there as Grace shuts him down. Moved in front again, Young trying to play it into the slot. Intercepted and moved up into the neutral by the Bombers. Miller playing it up now. It's down behind the net. Bandits with possession. McLean. Pass over to Young, goes a little too far ahead of him, and we'll get an icing. Draw in the Bandits' end, 7-16. Bandits win that one, but that pass is intercepted and kept in by Frazier. Frazier playing it around. It's up and squeaks out to the neutral zone. They'll have to race for it. Elijah Little getting there first. Back around the net. He'll move it up to Cohen Little. Cohen Little goes a little too far ahead, but he pushes it through into the corner now of the Bandits' end. Flipped around. Cormier pinching in to get there. He'll hand it off. Played in front. Trying to put it in through the 5-hole. And that's a goal for Cohen Little with his second of the game. Cohen Little makes things 4-2 for the Bombers. Played it around. Looks like the Bandits were expecting a pass to McIntosh in the slot. But Cohen elects to go for the wraparound, and it pays off as he slips it in through the 5-hole. The draw won back by the Bandits as they get possession, but Anderson's there. Playing it off for McDonald. That's broken up again. They'll battle along the boards more as it goes back for Elijah Little to Cormier. Cormier circling back, almost gets hit off by Schneider. Played in for Anderson, a shot on net, goes off the post. What a shot. Off for Reed now. He'll go into the corner, battling for it. Kept up with Elijah Little, but that gets poked out into the neutral zone. He'll have to race for it. Goes back down. And Mason Gunn was going to cover that one, tried to play it. But got some quick pressure put onto him there. So now we'll have a draw here in the Bomber zone to the right of Gunn. Played around the back of the net. Bandits with possession, trying to set something up here to cut the Bombers lead in half. It's Stewart. He'll play it up for Cameron. Cameron with a 1-tee shot, and it's covered up by Gunn. Draw here once again in the Bombers' end. As it's won back by Ross, but the Bandits push through to get possession as it's moved around. McLean keeping it in. Moved up again. Stewart's there, and he'll keep it in. Grace with possession now behind his own net. Moves up to Swain. That one bounces off Swain's stick, and it's pushed back in onto Mason Gunn. Moved up again for Bowden. Bowden to Swain. Swain pushing through. He's hit heavy in neutral ice. He'll take a second to get up, and he'll head to the bench, and he's pushed into again there. Back up for Ross to Bowden. Ross with it now. Gets hit off that one, and Stewart's out there to lay the body this shift. Hopefully Swain is all right on that play. 4:58 left to go here in the second. Bombers lead 4-2. Draw just outside the Bandits zone. As that's one back by the Bombers. Played in by Grace. And that's down into the corner. Hayes battling forward along the boards now. It's into the corner for McIntosh. He moves it up for Little, who hands it over. Miller with a shot on net. Rebound's alive, and it's covered up by Fry. Fry with a big save there on the rebound, keeping the Bombers out of the danger zone as they set up for another face-off here. Played around, McDaniel keeping it in. It's down behind the net. Parsons playing it around. Hayes back to Parsons, but that play's broken up by McIntosh. McIntosh having a look. He plays it to Cohen Little. A risky pass there that gets turned over. Dumped back in. Hayes in his own zone. Taking it behind his net. He'll play it over to Camus. He'll throw it up, and that goes off the shoulder of Burke. But here comes Burke with a great pass in front. He tries to go around Gunn. What a save! Mason Gunn. McDaniel will play it in. A huge save once again by Mason Gunn to keep the Bandits at a standstill. We'll get a stoppage here for a high stick. Yet another draw here in the Bandits' end. 3:46 left in play. Played through. Jackson McDonald with a shot on net. Kept out by Fry. Another draw here. Jackson McDonald winning it back. Anderson with a shot. Rebound goes down off the glove. And covered up once again by Fry, but Jackson McDonald was in there for the poke. Moved up now. Pass is intercepted by Elijah Little. Played back. McLean can't get possession of it, so that's moved in by Reed. Anderson into the corner now, getting hit off that one. Reed in there battling forward as well. It's off for Anderson. Anderson having a look. He'll move it up to Little. Little back to Anderson. That bounces weird off his stick, and the Bandits will take possession and move it out into the Bombers' zone. Cormier will race for it and get there as he moves it up. Cormier now walking in. Poked off that one, but he still has possession. Moves it in front. Jackson McDonald can't get a shot off as Cameron intercepts that. Cameron going for a few more hits. And we'll get a stoppage in play. Jackson McDonald, and it looks like Harris exchanging a couple words there after a little scuffle. Draw here again in the Bandits' end. Ross taking it against Cameron. Ross will win it back. But the Bandits get possession. Whittemore in there battling for it. Dodges the hit, from Harris. It's into the corner, and Harris fans on that one, so it'll go back down into the Bombers' zone. Young racing for it, but Martello gets there first. Martello firing it up for Frazier, who tips it into the Bandits' end. Robertson getting back. Here comes Camus. He's got a stretch. Camus in. Shot on net, and he scores. What a move. Camus makes things 4-3 with the forehand backhand move on Mason Gunn. And the Bandits cut the Bombers' lead in half with just 2:07 left in play. Played in and dumped by Grace into the Bandits' end. It's back around. Parsons battling for it, but Little's in there. The right corner of the Bandits' end. Battling for it. McIntosh coming out with it. He'll try and make a play around Robertson, but that's broken up. Back up, Robertson gets it again. What a steal, he walks in, a shot. Gets tipped in front by a stick and goes high into the netting. So we'll get a stoppage in play. Bandits will get a change here. Played back, Grace with it. Trying to hand it over to Little, but that's intercepted. So Little will have to race back for him. Little off for Grace. Grace back to Little with a nice pass. Here comes Cohen Little. Handing it off for Miller, who avoids the offside as he backhands it to Little. It's off a stick. McIntosh battling for it. And they'll battle for it in the corner. It's shot out for McIntosh, loses possession, but Stewart grabs it. Stewart having a look in his own zone as he tries to play it up, but McIntosh blocks that pass with his leg. Back behind the net, Grace with it. He'll make a stretch pass up to Miller, who hands it back, at least tries to. Up for Cohen Little, to McIntosh, trying to get there. Shot on net, and it's covered up by Fry. 40 seconds left here in the second period. Draw here in the Bandits' end. Ty Bowden taking it for the Bombers. He'll go against Cameron. Cameron wins it back. Move back for Robertson. He'll curl around and get some speed as he brings it to the neutral zone. Hands it off to Cameron. Cameron pushing through. That goes back into the Bombers' end. Cormier gets it. He'll hand it over to Grace. 23 seconds left. Back for McDonald. Doesn't like what he sees, so he'll curl back as he hands it off for Cormier. Cormier firing it up to Anderson. That's turned over, and Cameron dumps it back into the Bombers' end. Around for Grace. Grace having a look, moves it up to Ty Bowden, who can't get there in time, but no icing on this play, however. And that'll be the end of the second period. Bombers lead 4-3, but Bandits making a push at their comeback. We'll be back in just a moment with the third period here. This is U15 Major on High Button Sports. Back here, folks, to this U15 major matchup on High Button Sports. We're now into the third period. Bombers leading 4-3. Been an exciting back and forth matchup thus far. Puck drop for the third is about to be underway. And here we go. Push through. It's Gamis walking in. He's already got one in this game. He'll circle back, try and play it to Chamberlain, but that's broken up. Down along the boards now, battling for it. Lane Miller will grab it, and he'll hand it off to McDonald. Up for Anderson, who tips it in, and he'll chase after that one. Moved up, Whittemore to Cormier. Cormier's a shot on net off the pad of Fry. Lane Miller having a look as he plays it down in deep for Jackson McDonald. McDonald moving up to Anderson, but that's broken up. Chandler getting it. Moving it back, Harris to Chandler, excuse me. He'll blow a tire, and that's handed over to Whittemore. Whittemore going in along the boards now to Swain with a shot on net. Rebounds alive in front. Just goes to the side of the pad. Fry shuts the door. As Whittemore goes down hard, he'll head to the bench. We'll get a stoppage in play there.
Congratulations to Bob Gregory of Bedford for winning the 50-50. Bombers, thank you for your support.
Draw here in the Bandits' end. One back by the Bandits as McLean moves it up. Young pushing through now. He gets that into the corner of the Bombers' end. Cameron trying to hand it back to him, with that plays broken up by McDaniel. Moved up. Bandits with a shot on net. And Mason Gunn shuts the doors. It goes back up for Hayes. Hayes fans on that shot, and it's handed over to Swain. Swain having a look. He tries to make a pass over to Cohen Little, who grabs it. Cohen Little, toe drag, a shot, and he scores! Cohen Little, have yourself a game. There's the hat trick. Cohen Little makes things 5-3 with his third of the game. As the draw pushed through for Bowden. Pushed back to O'Coin, who gets possession and hands it off. Burke moving it up. That's played in to the Bombers' end, and we'll get an icing. Draw here in the Bandits' end. One back by the Bandits. It's O'Coin. He'll flip it up high. It's back for Cormier. He'll cut around as he moves it up. Bowden dumps it in, and Ross will race for it against Harris. Harris gets there first as he makes a play over. Here comes Burke. Couple nice moves, getting around Elijah Little. He's in, shot on net, and Mason Gunn shuts the door. Frazier now, crossing red, and he'll dump it in. Background Ty McDonald getting possession as he gets it over to Reed. Reed playing it in for McDonald into the slot. McDonald trying to make a pass to Bowden. He'll circle around, tries to go for the wraparound. Gets it again. Jackson McDonald cutting through, trying to play it in for Bowden once again, but that's intercepted and played out by McLean. Whittemore misses the hit there. McLean's in. He'll hand it back. McDonald with the hit. And Anderson gets possession off of it. Move back. Pass
is a little too far behind Reed, so he'll have to go get it off the boards as he tries to dump it in. It's back. McDonald. He's in. Nice move around. And it's tipped away. Rebound's alive.
And cleared out of the zone by McLean. We've got Anderson with a shot again. McLean keeping it out of there. As that's fired into the neutral zone. Cormier racing back for it, but Stewart's on his tail. Cormier walking in now. He's in. Shot on net. Kept out by Fry. To Anderson with a 1T. That goes off the glass. Flipped up high. Played back. Burke. Burke's walking in now. Shot on net. Kept out by Gunn. Rebounds alive. And McDonald gets it out of there as it's up for Anderson and Reed. Hayes trying to get back. That's poked away. Oh, or Anderson, excuse me, keeping it in. Hayes will get there. He'll fire it around. Camus getting it. He has a look at his passing options. He'll like to skate it. Playing through, broken up by Little. Little walking in now. Shot on net. Rebounds alive. And Robertson gets it and gets it out of there. Off for Miller. Miller having a look now. It's back. Playing it through. McIntosh walking in, trying to get it pulled through the defense. But he can't as it's moved up to Robertson and he'll dump it in. Down behind the net now, McDaniel. Playing it up for Little. He'll try and tip it in. That play's broken up by Cameron. Cameron walking in now. He's got a little bit of room. A shot on net. And the rebound's picked up by McDaniel and out of the slot. Little now poking it up to McIntosh. McIntosh firing up to Miller, and Miller will tip it into the zone and go off for a change. Miller's back off of a knee injury. Playing his first game back at home since. As Swain dumps it in. Moving it up is the Bandits. That's intercepted by Bowden, and we'll get an offside as Little wasn't fully out of the zone. McLean getting it. He'll throw it in off of the boards as it's back to the blue line. Fanning on that shot is Hayes. Here comes Ryan Ross. McLean's got back. He's in. A shot on net saved by Fry. Moved up Young. Handing it back to McLean. McLean around. Moving it over. As Hayes can't get it through the ref's legs. An opportunity for the Bombers gets poked away by Fry. Here comes Cameron. Walking through. As that goes back for the Bombers, it's Ryan Ross once again with it. He'll skate it in, trying to get around. As he's hitting to the boards heavy, loses a glove there into the slot. Up for Grace. He'll walk in off the blue line. A shot deflected. It's on net. And it goes into the corner. Grace with it now. Getting hit off that one. It's moved up. Frazier back to Grace. Grace trying to get possession of that one. He'll have to skate back for it. Up for Frazier. Handed off to McDonald. McDonald coming in with lots of speed now. He'll take a fancy move around. A shot on net. Goes down. And Fry covers it up as it hits off of the glove. .13:02 left in play here. McLean moving it up for Stewart, who tips it into the neutral. Bombers getting possession. Grace back. Whittemore playing it up to Anderson, who tips it off for McDonald. A nice play there. McDonald curling back a little too far ahead of Anderson, but he'll get possession anyway. Playing it in. Frazier trying to tip it on net. He'll have a look now, try to play in the slot for Grace. Back up for Whittemore with a shot, goes wide. Anderson up, Grace, back to Anderson. He'll walk into the slot as he hands it over to Whittemore with a shot on net. Rebounds alive in front, and the Bandits will clear it out. Into the neutral zone now as they fire it into the Bombers' end. Grace is back to grab it. 12 minutes left in the third period. Bandits back in their own zone trying to break out. McDonald's there, however, and he throws it back in behind the net. Reed's there as he plays it up. Anderson tries to hand it back for Cormier. He wasn't there, so he'll have to take it in to his own end as he hands it over to Martello. Picked off by Burke. Walking in, Burke with a shot. Goes off the crossbar and stays out. A wicked shot. Got unlucky on that one. And the Bombers get it in to the Bandits' end. Anderson and Harris battling for it. Or Hayes, excuse me. Cormier. Shot from the blue line. Goes off the glove. Back around for Anderson. He'll move it up to Grace at the line. Grace to Cormier. Cormier with the shot. Goes high. And up for Grace. He'll play it in for Anderson. Reed playing it over. Anderson with a backhand shot. Goes off the stick of Fry. Cormier plays it back in behind the net. Burke's battling for it. It goes around. Parsons gets it up, but Grace is there to intercept that. Grace still with it. Into the corner. He'll play it around for Reed, who will have to race Hayes there, but they'll have to get into a battle along the boards now as Hayes loses his stick. Moved up. Grace getting back for it. And he'll hand it over. Cormier getting there as he plays it in for McIntosh. Miller with it. Handing it over. And that's played up by Cameron. Pass intercepted by Cormier. Cormier's got it now. He'll move it to McIntosh. Intercepted again. Cormier's back for it, and he gets possession. Over for Grace, who can't get there in time. Miller playing it up to McLean. McLean flips it up high and in. It's back for Grace. Grace moving up now. He hands it to Little, and it's too far behind him, and the Bombers will get an icing. It looks like one of the benches has called a timeout. So we'll just take a quick break here. This is U15 Major on High Button Sports. After a quick 30-second timeout there, we're back and ready to go. Draw in the Bombers' end. Bandits down by 2 with just 9 minutes and 35 seconds left. Cameron taking the draw. That's won by the Bombers and moved up to Miller. Miller trying to poke it through. That goes back down into the corner for Grace. Grace moving it up now. McIntosh is there, and he'll dump it into the zone. He'll go off for a change as he didn't have an opportunity before on the icing play. McLean making a move over to Camus. And that pass goes wide. And we'll get an icing against the Bandits. Another draw here in the Bandits' end. Ross taking it. That's one back by Burke. Moved over to McLean. McLean having a look as he moves it to Chandler. Ty Bowden taking possession, and he'll skate in now. Here comes Bowden. He's got Ross with him. To Ross, and that's too far behind him. Can't get the shot off. Whittemore's there. Off the leg of McLean. And now McLean has it. Taking into the neutral, and he'll dump it into the Bombers' end. Cam is trying to get there, but he's it in the boards by Cormier. Moved over, Swain for Ross. Ross has got some room. Poked away from that one, and Burke takes possession. Burke now. Skating through. Splits everybody. Shot on net. Goes high and off the shoulder of Gunn. Parsons with another shot. It's alive in front. Burke can't get there in time. Camus with it now. He skates around. Shot on net. Blocked in front by Cormier. Played in front. Bowden's got it now. And he'll flip it up high and out. No icing on that play, and the Bombers will get a quick change. Bandits trying to catch them on that one. And looks like we'll get an offside here. Face off just outside of the Bandits' zone. It's one back by the Bombers, and Grace dumps it in. Along the boards now, McLean gets turned over. McDonald walking in, shot on net, off the shoulder of Fry. McDonald still battling for it. That goes around for Anderson. Intercepted, and the Bandits take possession. Not for long. Anderson to McDonald. Spinorama into the slot as it's intercepted. Back to Grace. Grace with a shot off the blocker of Fry. In the corner now, it's moved up. Matitol to Grace. Grace with the side step, and it looks like we're going to get a penalty here against the Bombers once again. It's McDonald heading to the box here, and he'll get an unsportsmanlike conduct on top of that as well. Or perhaps it's both of them. I'm not sure if they both got an unsportsmanlike or if it was just one in particular. The ref will come over to the benches to clear things up here. Both teams still have 5 out there. So it looks like these will be offsetting penalties. So it stays 5-on-5 for both clubs. Move back, Whittemore playing it in. McIntosh, 1-T by Miller. What a shot. As that goes in deep. Little still battling for it. Miller laying the body. Cormier keeps it in. Hands it off for McIntosh with a shot on net. Gloved up by Fry. .6:39 left in play. Refs talking things over with the clock operator. Things seem to be straightened up here. So the face-off will resume. Little with it. Shot on net. Miller with another shot goes wide. Played around. Cohen Little gets it again. He'll have a look as he moves up to Cormier. Cormier with a shot. Tipped in front. Goes up and high. Around. McIntosh shot on net. Off the shoulder of Fry. Little again now. Hands it back for McIntosh. McIntosh plays it in front. Whittemore can't get it as it bounces over his stick, but he keeps it in. McIntosh with it again. He'll curl in. Shot on net. off the blocker. Miller playing it in front around. Cohen Little tries to go for the wraparound, and it stays out. With just 6 minutes and 3 seconds left. Bandits still down by 2. Seems to be some type of confusion. Bombers arguing with the refs that the Cohen Little wraparound was in the net. Back for McDaniel in his own zone. McDaniel loses it a couple times there, but he gets it around, thankfully. Bowden now. Poked away off that one. Cameron moving it in for Young. He'll try and play it in front. It's back. Grace is around. Up for Reed. Reed to Ross. Ross with a nice play up to Bowden. Bowden along the boards now. He'll shoot it at the net. That goes wide and bounces around. Ross getting hit off that one by Hayes. And it's dumped in to the Bombers zone. Grace around into the corner now. Battling for it. He's getting some pressure put on to him by Cameron. As he moves it up, deflected into the net. Hayes, Reed, and Bowden will do some pushing and shoving in front of the benches. The refs are there to break things up. McDonald taking the draw here just outside the Bandit zone. It's one back. Robertson. Camus poking it through. Chandler trying to get there. It goes back for Camus, who plays it into the open ice where Elijah Little grabs it. Hands it to Reed. Reed trying to make a pass over to Anderson. Anderson's there, but it's covered up by Fry before he can get there. 4:42 left in play. Burke and McDonald going head to head. And Burke wins it back. Moved it around for Robertson. Robertson taking his time in his zone as he looks for a pass. Intercepted by Elijah Little. Little walking in now, having a look, tries to make a play over to Frazier, but it's intercepted by Robertson. Move back for Cormier now. Having a look as he fires it off the boards. That gets moved to Frazier. Back for Anderson with a shot. Blocked in front by Robertson, and that hits him in the arm in a weird spot, so he'll head to the bench. Shot on net by Cormier, and that's covered up by Fry. Robertson not feeling so good off that play. So Hayes will go out there. Parsons playing it up. Slips past Grace, so Whittemore will have to race back for it. Hit off that one. There's a battle for it. Boyette moves it over. McIntosh now trying to move it up to Grace. That's turned over. And it's down in for Young. Young walking in, plays it through the legs of the D-man, but it's covered up by Gunn, who's having himself a game. Another draw here in the Bombers' end. Trying to push through is McIntosh. Oh yeah, with the shot, goes wide. Young behind the Bombers net, plays it in front. Mason Gunn keeps it out. Goes back up to the line. Parson with a shot blocked in front by McIntosh. McIntosh putting on the pressure, and he'll get possession. Can't get it out. Little's got it. He'll play it back for Martello. Flipping it through, and Swain tips it in. Little's racing for it. Fries out of her net to play it. As that goes around for McIntosh. Playing it over. Swain racing to keep it in. He'll swipe at it. Moved around. Hayes trying to play it through. That hits up off the glass and out of play. So the draw here will be just outside the Bomber zone. 2:51 left in play. Bandits still down by 2. Looks like they'll move the face off to outside the Bandits zone. One back by the Bandits. Cameron hands it over. They're moving it up now. Dumped in. Off for Stewart. Stewart in the corner now, trying to push it through. He'll hand it off. Burke playing it up for Cameron. Cameron with a shot from the blind. Blocked in front by Miller. Goes back. Burke with a pass from O'Coin. That's flipped up high and hits the scoreboard. So we'll get a stop here. So the draw's back in the Bombers' end. One back, shot on net, blocked in front. Camus is back for it, plays it in for Burke. Burke's hit off that one. Stewart's there, hit off that one as well. Cormier trying to play it around. Little racing there, but Burke's at it. He'll move it to Cameron. Cameron walks in, shot on net, blocked in front by Gunn once again. And it looks like we'll get another timeout called here by the Bandits. So we'll take a quick 30-second breather and be back in just a moment with the rest of the third period. This is U15 Major on High Button Sports. Welcome back here, folks. Bandits with a quick timeout to talk things over on how they're going to try and come back in this game and tie things up with just 2 minutes and 7 seconds left. Draws in the Bombers' end. Empty net for the Bandits. Into the corner now. Whittemore getting possession, hands it to Cormier. Back around, Young getting it. He'll flip it to Stewart. Stewart walking behind the net. Into the corner now, getting some pressure put on him. Young's in to help. Cormier with it. He'll try and fire it down. It's in front. Rebound's alive. They're pushing for it. And Mason Gunn keeps it out. Draw again here in the Bomber zone. Cormier gets it, hands it over to Grace. Grace up to McDonald. McDonald trying to clear it out, but Young's back to get it as he moves it. Young playing it through to Burke. Burke walking in now, trying to get around. Grace lays the body on him along the boards. Burke playing it in front, goes wide, and the Bombers will fight for it. It's up. Camus playing it in. Burke again with a shot on net, kept out with the blocker. Grace getting tied up there, playing it through, and that'll squeak out. Anderson trying to get the shot off, throws it down the length of the ice. All teams are yelling and screaming here. Bandits looking for an icing there. And the Bombers looking for a hooking penalty. But here comes Robertson, who's back on the ice. With a shot on net, that goes wide. Playing it around, Camus keeps it in. Robertson playing it over. O'Coin shooting it in. Tipped in front, goes wide. Stewart battling for it in the corner now. 36 seconds left in play. Young can't get a shot off. So it'll fly up. Camus playing it around. Hits off the post. Anderson going for the empty netter. 21 seconds left in play. They'll battle for it. Here comes Camus. They'll have to be fast on this. Camus walking in. Shot on net. Off the blocker. Stewart now handing it over. Played in front. Here comes McDonald. Trying to get there. Can't get the shot off. 3 seconds left. And that looks like it'll be the end of the game. Bombers take the win at home. 5-3. A big win here for the Bombers. A great performance from Mason Gunn and a hat trick from Cohen Little. A great effort and a great performance from the Bandits as well. Some key players. Robertson put on a great defensive performance tonight, as well as Burke and O'Coin. They seem to be matching up well out there. Fry holding her own in the pipes, keeping her team in it as best as she could, stopping, what was it, 34 shots on net. A pretty good day. But nonetheless, Bombers take the win 5-3. Thank you for choosing High Button Sports for your U15 matchups. My name is Vaughn Mason. Happy holidays, everyone.